Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. UPI reports that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth declared Friday that the U.S. blockade of the Strait of Hormuz has expanded globally. He cited the recent seizure of two Iranian dark ships in the Indo-Pacific region as evidence, noting these vessels had left Iranian ports before the blockade was fully enacted but were still intercepted. Hegseth confirmed that a second U.S. aircraft carrier would soon join the operation, stating unequivocally that the blockade would persist as long as it takes, as decided by President Donald Trump. He dismissed Iran's recent seizure of two vessels, highlighting that they were not U.S. or Israeli ships, implying their insignificance. Furthermore, Hegseth issued a strong call to European and Asian nations, emphasizing that they have benefited from U.S. protection for decades and that the time for free riding is over. He concluded by asserting that this conflict is much more their fight than ours, demanding more capable and loyal allies. The Japanese government and ruling parties are seriously assessing the feasibility of deploying maritime self-defense force minesweepers to the Strait of Hormuz, a critical waterway for oil shipments, according to JJ Press. This consideration comes in response to a request from U.S. President Donald Trump for contributions to ensure safe navigation. On Friday, Takayuki Kobayashi, chairman of the ruling Liberal Democratic Party's Policy Research Council, presented recommendations to Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi, urging the government to consider sending minesweepers after any conflict between the United States and Iran concludes. Kobayashi emphasized that such a deployment would be an option to secure Japan's national interests while remaining within legal boundaries. Prime Minister Takaichi affirmed the government's shared view with the LDP, stating her commitment to protect the people's daily lives. She had previously told Trump in March that Japan operates under specific legal constraints. Japanese law permits the deployment of minesweepers for clearing mines only after hostilities have ceased, as was the case when Japan sent minesweepers to the Persian Gulf in 1991 following the Gulf War. Daily Express U.S. reports that Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk has issued a stark warning that Russia could launch an attack on a NATO member within a matter of months. Speaking to the Financial Times, Tusk questioned whether the United States would uphold its mutual defense commitment to the alliance if such a scenario were to unfold. He emphasized that Europe's biggest, most important question is the reliability of the U.S. as a loyal NATO partner. Tusk called for the European Union to evolve into a real alliance capable of robustly defending the continent, particularly its eastern borders, and suggested reviewing Article 42.7 of the EU Treaty, the Mutual Defense Clause. This highlights growing European anxieties about Russian aggression and the consistency of American support for NATO, especially in light of past statements by former President Donald Trump. France has chosen local cloud company Scaleway to host its national healthcare data, including sensitive reimbursement information, previously managed by U.S. tech giant Microsoft. The French Health Data Hub announced this decision on Thursday, April 23, following a rigorous 2.5-month selection process that involved over 350 technical requirements. The director of the French Health Data Hub, Galliani, stated that this migration aims to maintain a high level of security for all users and will accelerate the use of national health data for various scientific research and innovation projects. According to a report by Lisa Relecte, the move is seen as a response to increasing calls within France to reduce dependence on American technology companies, as highlighted by Le Figaro website. LBC reports that Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer has announced the UK government's intention to table legislation within weeks to ban state-backed organizations, specifically mentioning the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC. This significant policy shift, described as a major U-turn, was revealed during Starmer's visit to Kenton United Synagogue in North London, a site recently targeted in an arson attack. The the legislation aims to proscribe the IRGC, potentially adding it to a list of 80 other banned groups in the UK. However, a security source cautioned LBC that while welcome, proscription alone is not a silver bullet for combating Iranian influence and terrorism, suggesting the legislation needs to be broad enough to include other dangerous entities like the Ministry of Intelligence and Security. Separately, 4 individuals have appeared in court charged with criminal damage related to the arson attack on 4 Jewish community ambulances, which caused an estimated £1 million in damage. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.